right, everybody, we want to welcome you to our podcast, She Conquers Dirt. This is going to be our first episode, right, Charlene? First episode?
Yes, super exciting.
So exciting. We're going to open up with a bang with our guest today. So we're super excited, and let's get into it. Charlene, tell us who we have.
Yeah, thank you, Avis. This is so exciting to kick off She Conquers Dirt with Amber Turner Slawson. We'll use both of her last names because I think some people know her as Amber Turner and now Amber Slawson. And I'm super excited for her to share about her experiences at King of the Hammers and as a fabricator.
All right, absolutely. I can't wait. For everybody, be sure you subscribe, hit that like button, the notification button, stay tuned to the end so you can enter to win. But we're super excited. Like I said, hit that notification button. You'll know what's going on here with us at She Conquers Dirt.
She Conquers Dirt features the stories of incredible off-road ladies associated with Ladies Off-Road Network. Bauer Power Hour can be found on YouTube and your favorite podcast outlet. Now buckle up and let's roll. Yeah, Miss Amber Slawson Turner.
Oh, that's so funny that you brought that up. I love it. It's a thing.
Explain that just a little bit, but we'll get there.
It's a thing.
Yeah. If you want a good drinking game, go figure out how many times I messed up my last name in the live show last year.
That's hilarious. So Amber, for those that don't know you, give us a quick rundown, your bio, how you got here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so starting out, my family wasn't really into off-roading. We got into off-roading when I was in my early 20s. My dad had a Toyota pickup, and we started rock crawling the Rubicon, and then I bought my Samurai right out of high school, and I wanted to learn how to build it into a little rock crawler. So I took a welding course at community college. And I was like, yeah, I'll just build a set of rock sliders for this thing. And then I ended up taking all the welding classes that they offered. And so it turned into my career as welding now. So I went from a small shop I grew up in the Bay Area, and I started working at a small shop there doing off-road parts for Tacomas and Toyotas and stuff like that. Went to work in just general fabrication shops for a couple of years, just chasing a dollar, trying to, good benefits and all that kind of stuff. And then in 21, I came to work for Bomber Fab and Randy and got into, so back up a little. I started racing my Samurai in 2020, and I raced it from 2020 to 2024. So it was 5 King of the Hammers races that I did with that thing. And then also in 2024, like I said, I started working for Bomber in 21. And so in 24, I got to race Randy's 48 car in the 4400 class. And then this year, 2025, I got to race the same car in the class it was built for, 4800, and took physical first, official second, and my first 48 race. That's where I'm at.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The very first, pretty much one of the first welding classes that I was in was like a lecture, and I saw Jessi Combs in an American Welding Society video. And I'd always watched Jessi on Extreme 4x4 and stuff like that. So I knew who she was, and I thought to myself, well, if Jessi can do it, I can do it. And so that's kind of also the reason why I became a welder too. But that, and knowing that I'd always be too poor to hire someone to do it. And I wanted cool off-road rigs, and I wanted nice stuff. So I just learned how to do it myself.
Awesome. Well, before we go into a bunch more questions, let's open the front door to your house. Tell us about your furry friends, relationship, mom and dad. You got brothers and sisters, all that kind of stuff.
So between me and Randy, we have 3 dogs. I got a German Shepherd mix named Draven. I got a Border Collie Lab healer mix, Cody. And we got our little healer, Marley. And we live on 6 acres, so they run around, and they're basically farm dogs. But that's all we got as far as animals. I'm married to my boss now. I'm married to Randy. My family is all into it too. I couldn't have gotten to where I am today without their support, and they're stoked for the sport. because, like I said, my dad had an 83 pickup that we started wheeling Rubicon in. Because he did that, and I bought my Samurai, we wheeled together for years and years. We did Rubicon and Fordyce and Moab and all the stuff. He was my best wheeler buddy, still is. My mom's all into it. She loves it. Her and I did Rebel Rally with Avis back in 22. Um, all my, I've got two brothers. I'm the oldest of four, so I've got two brothers that both have rigs, and both their wives are into it, and their kids are into it. And my youngest sister and her husband have a Toyota 4Runner, and they come out to Rubicon with us because they're local enough, and everybody comes out for Hammers. That's like our big family reunion that everybody actually wants to go to is Hammers. So it works out pretty good. I get to see everybody. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it when families like come together like that. And I've actually witnessed you guys all at Hammers together, and it's amazing. It's awesome. You're so lucky for that.
Yeah, I'm super lucky. And my brothers helped me out with the racing thing too, because my brother Stuart used to co-drive with me when we did the Samurai. And then my brother Gavin, when he comes, he's like my go do this kind of guy. Like if I need something done, hey Gavin, can you go do this for me real quick? And then my dad's always there for me, and my mom is, I want to say she's like a step or two below the volunteer coordinator at Hammers. Like every year she's in charge of her own section. And I think last year and the year before, it's been the short course lately. So it's a big deal. And she steps into that role, which is really cool. But she always takes my race day off. So
yeah, your mom
That's
is
cool.
epic. Like your mom is epic in a lot of ways, and your dad too. Like I see them at all the events. They're always super kind, always thankful, like great people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I call your mom the mayor.
Mayor of Hammertown.
The mayor of whatever. She's the mayor. If she's there, she's the mayor.
Yep.
And I love it.
Awesome. Well, how about we step into our first set of full throttle questions?
Let's do our first full throttle favorite rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. What was your first car?
My first car when I started driving was actually a 1978 Volkswagen Rabbit diesel. So that was pretty cool. I love that little thing. I had that. I had two cabriolets, and I had another diesel Rabbit, and I killed the first three. So I blew the head gasket on the diesel, and I wrecked both of the cabriolets. And then I bought the last diesel Rabbit, worked on it a bunch, and never could get it to run right. So I ended up selling that and buying my stock Samurai that I still have. So little known fact, I actually have two Samurais that I've had for almost 10 years. I've got a third one right now too. So
Okay. What's your favorite food?
favorite food. The first thing that comes to mind is Arch's Thai in Moab.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Thai food fan, but that's my go-to. I love going to that place whenever I'm in Moab. That's if my birthday is during EJS, that's where I'm at.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is your music of choice?
Music of choice, alt rock for the most part. I listen to a lot of country these days, but if I'm going to do my own thing, I'll do, like Chili Peppers or Incubus or there's a lot of like early 2000s alternative weird ones like Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy and stuff like that. That's pretty deep.
Okay. Are you a prepper or a last minute doer?
I am a hardcore prepper. I will try to get as much stuff done before it's crunch time, because crunch time happens regardless, right? So I'll try to prep as much as I can before crunch time so that crunch time actually doesn't crunch.
Right. Early morning or late night? What's your preference?
Early morning for sure. Yeah, I'm usually up by like 5 or 6. I like watching the sunrise and getting stuff done early.
Yeah, it's nice. And then like your whole day is sort of like a lot easier because you've knocked so much out in the morning, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you like Volkswagens, I take it. Or you just happened into them.
Yeah, they were, so like the whole concept was that they were kind of crap cars back then. I think we bought the Rabbit for like $1,000, and I think we bought one of the cabriolets for like $500. And that was the thing when I was a kid, was like, my parents never owned new cars or new vehicles. It was something where we pay the price, we buy it, fix it a bunch of times, and just run it into the ground. You know, just cheap crap cars. And they served their purpose. They were great. I still think Rabbits are super cute. Um, but I don't remember enough of working on them to be frustrated by them. I don't know any Volkswagens anymore. I'm all Samurais now.
All Samurais.
Yep.
Sweet.
All right. So you've played in the off-road industry, you've worked in the off-road industry, but let's talk about King of the Hammers first. At some moment in time, there was a decision that says, I want to race King of the Hammers. Like, what was that? What were you thinking? Why a Samurai?
That's a good question. I like that one. So my first King of the Hammers I did with my family, obviously, in 2014. And I was hooked from the first time we were there. We were only there for like 3 or 4 days, but it was just this event where everybody drove rock crawlers around. You know, back then you went out there and all you saw for the whole week was rock crawlers. There wasn't a single regular car, and it was just awesome. So we did it 2014. We went every year, and I think probably 2018 or 2019, I was like, it'd be kind of cool to go racing one day. And so in 2019, I pitted for a 4,500 car. And I told that driver, I was like, hey, I kind of want to go race my Samurai maybe one day. And he's like, that's a terrible idea. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. I won't do that. But so that's February 2019, right? August rolls around. Jessi Combs passes away trying to set the world land speed record in Oregon, right? And that day, I'm on the phone with my brother Stuart, reminiscing about Jessi and all the ways she's impacted both of our lives. And he's like, you got to do something. And I was like, I kind of want to race King of the Hammers. And he's like, you should do it. So it was a matter of, I wanted to race. I always told myself I'd just build a buggy, build something more capable of racing. And then Jessi passes, that whole thing hits. And I'm like, I guess I could race my Samurai. So I prepped it. I started prepping it in August. And in October of that year, I lived in Reno at the time. And so in October, they were doing Ultra 4 Nationals at Wild West Motorsports Park in Reno. And I got it kind of put together a little bit, brought it up there, and showed it to JT Taylor, who was I think he was Race Ops Chief Technical Inspector at the time. And he's like, yeah, I don't see why you couldn't race it. You know, it was on 31-inch tires and stock axles, and I was building the cage myself and doing all the little safety stuff. And he gave me a couple pointers from there, and I was like, oh, crap, JT says I could do it. I guess I'm actually doing it. And yeah, raced that first year. Didn't finish. I think I was averaging like probably 6 miles an hour. It was really slow, but I basically got through the first lap and hit the very first rock trail, or I was about to hit the very first rock trail, and it was dark. I was past the cutoff time. All I wanted to do was go wheeling, and I think my mom comes over the radio because I had my brother co-drive with me, and then I had my dad jump in for the rocks, and so my dad was with me. My mom comes over the radio, and she's like, hey, Ops wants you to come in and drive over the stage. And I was like, I just want to go rock crawling. So I drove back to town super pissed off. But everybody was there to see me through, and it was a good year. You know, the first year was pretty crazy, but I did 5 years of that car. And it built and built and built. I started on the 31s and the stock axles. I was on that for 2 years, and then I did the Toyota axle swap, and then I went from stock axles to fabricated housings, and just ways to make the car bigger and better and faster, and I pretty much maxed it out. So
I was gonna say, so the little Sammy that started off as it could, like, became something really big and badass by the time that it was Is it retired? I shouldn't even say it's retired, right? Maybe
Oh yeah,
retired from
yeah, no,
racing, but
it's
you're
it's
still wheeling it.
yeah, I'm still wheeling it. I still rec wheel it all the time. I'll always have the Samurai, but yeah, I told myself this when I was starting to build it for King of Hammers. I was like, I'm building my dream car. This is gonna be awesome. Like those dreams have changed at this point, but I'm still really stoked on the way the thing turned out. It sucks that I crunched the body up, but it wheels so good and it does what I want it to, and it's it's my little reliable rig. So
So then you had the opportunity to step into a bigger car and actually into the buggy side of things. How did that feel? What was so different about that?
that was intimidating. Big tires and big horsepower coming from 60 horsepower in the Samurai. Um, it took a lot of getting used to. So the first year I raced in 24 in the Bomber, I hadn't had a lot of seat time in it. And so I just babied it through the whole 4,400 race course. We finished. We finished like 21st. Ended up doing a whole bunch more miles than we had to because we got lost. But after that, since I raced the 4,400 class in 24, and we plan to have me race it in the 48 class in 25. I did about like 6 solid weeks worth of driving in that car and really got used to it and got the feel of it. And I did significantly better, obviously, in 25. It's always just a butt feeling thing to me, right? Like I learn everything the hard way. I'm not saying I rolled the Bomber a bunch of times. I rolled it a couple times, but I've had to push myself to like learn how to drift at speed and take corners fast and brake fast and all this stuff that I couldn't do with the Samurai. And it's completely opposite of just driving a regular car on the street. Like take everything that they teach you when you're learning to drive a car on the street and flip it on its head. So it's just unlearning a lifetime of that and learning that there's horsepower and there's
Yeah.
traction to be found. You just have to know how to get to it and momentum and rocks and smooth as fast and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, so how do you learn that, right? Like there's not like this online class that you get to take that says, here's how you go be a King of the Hammers racer. Like what are some of the pro tips if somebody is listening right now and they're like, I feel you and I want to go out there and I want to practice and I want to learn and I want to understand, I want to go race. Like what would you tell them? How would you tell them to do that?
I say go rock crawling, dude.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. The hardest thing for me to learn
Well,
was
sure, but how? Like we're girls. We want to like have that we want to have that route. What's the route?
what's the route?
Do you need a special car or can you start in anything you have?
You can start in anything you have, and work your way up. That's basically what I did. Was I had the Samurai, so I started in the Samurai. You don't have to have a giant budget and a giant buggy and all the horsepower in the world and the coolest parts on the market. You just go out and do it. That's why we have the Everyman Challenge classes. Because back in the day, guys would, take their trail rig and put all the safety stuff on it and go racing. And that's kind of the point. You got to start somewhere. And that's where we can start. So.
Yeah. What's involved in the safety side of it? When you say just put the safety stuff in it, like how hard is that to accomplish?
It's not really hard as much as just they lay everything out in the rule book really clearly. So like you have to install window nets, you have to have fire extinguishers, you have to have SFI rated seat belts, firewalls between you and any fluids, firewalls between you and the fuel cell, or not so much the fuel cell, but like a splash guard for the fuel filler, stuff like that. Like 125 aluminum over the heads of the occupants. And it's, yeah, like when you go through tech inspection, this is actually a really good piece of advice for anyone that's considering racing. When you go through tech inspection, they're not looking for class rules. They're looking to make sure you don't hurt yourself when you crash, or when someone drives over you or rams into the back of you, because that stuff happens. So we just want to make sure everybody gets off the course safely and goes home. That's the whole point. But yeah, everything is laid out in the rule book. You just got to go through each thing and The thing I struggled with the most actually was mounting my window nets because I had no idea what they wanted with that. So it's just taking a window net and hanging it up in the window and making sure you can open and close it. So
Cool.
Awesome. So King of the Hammers prep, you were talking about like you're a prepper, you're the person that tries to get everything done at the front end because there's always crunch time, right? But what does King of the Hammers prep mean? Like, what does race prep mean? And it doesn't have to be just for King of the Hammers. Like, you do other races throughout the year as well. So, what would something like that mean to somebody?
well, so there's the book side, there's the writing down and organizing side that we're good at, right? Um, Giving people jobs in the pit, figuring out schedules, figuring out spare parts and where they go. And then there's the actual car prep. And that's a matter of tearing everything down and putting it all back together, making sure everything's kosher. You know, we go through all, I don't want to say the whole car. We'll kind of do minimal preps on cars depending on what we think they need sometimes. But like checking to make sure bolts aren't self clearancing themselves, checking to make sure all the heims don't have any play in them, checking to make sure the fittings are good, the hoses are good. Because you know one of the worst things I think could happen is like say a transmission line pops off, dumps right onto your exhaust, and your car catches on fire. That's the kind of stuff we're trying to prevent. Um, I go through my diffs every year too. I send them out to get checked because that's always been like a major fear of mine is losing a diff. If the transmission needs to be changed this year, I'll change the transmission. Change the oil in the engine. Make sure that's all good. Maybe do a compression test. Make sure it's totally kosher because once you get down there, you know, we leave the shop with a prepped car. We go down to Hammers for about 2 weeks and we pre-run. So that thing has to be prepped to a T when we're pre-running. So hopefully nothing goes wrong while we're pre-running. And if it does, then we got to drag it into the tent and fix it. So
Yeah, that's always the big challenge too, huh? When you're pre-running with the car that you're racing, you're double dipping on the exposure moments.
exactly. It's kind of a double-edged sword because on some level, if something's going to break, you definitely want it to break during pre-running, right? But you also don't want to fatigue the car so much that it breaks during the race.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely an equal balance right there. Okay, so moving on, has fabrication always been like your passion, or is this something that somehow you dropped into? Like, how all of a sudden did you end up in the garage and saying, I want to be a fabricator welder?
That's a good question too. Actually, when I was a kid and I was in high school and stuff, I wanted to be a large animal vet. I wanted to do horses. I was a horse girl. And then, like I said, I took the welding class and I was like, well, this is cool. I think I'll do this. And realized I don't have time for horses anymore. So I had to give that up so that I could have a job and do the welding thing and keep going to school. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much always been as far as like my adult life and career have gone. It's been the fabrication and the welding, just trying to be the best at it that I can. Um, yeah,
Have you
it's
always have you always sat in the off-road space? Is that something that's always just intrigued you, or is there other places?
oh yeah, it's always been off road for me 100% of the time. Like when I had the Volkswagens, I was kind of into like the car scene, whatever it is, because I grew up kind of in the city, East Bay, San Francisco Bay Area. Um, but when my family started off roading, I was like, this is it. And then we went to King of the Hammers, and I was like, this is it.
So you started off in a shop. Was it, a lot of times when we start off in shops as fabricators, like it's pushing a broom. Did you start that way, or did you start like more up the ladder a little bit?
Oh yeah, no, totally. I totally pushed the broom for at least 2 years. and it was a shop where we had it was called Bay Area Metal Fab, and so we did everything from designing parts to final assembly and powder coat. So at some point there in the middle, I was also doing sandblasting and powder coating. I got to be pretty good at that. And then towards the end, I did a lot of TIG welding. And so that kind of got me into the next job that I got. And then the next job, and then this current job, because all we do at Bomber Fab is TIG. We have one MIG welder, and it's sitting in the closet disassembled. So,
No need
So
for
help
that.
everybody out. Let's do a definition moment here really fast. So tell everybody the difference between MIG welding and TIG welding, please.
yeah. So if you're watching welding, if you're watching someone weld, MIG welding has a bunch of sparks. So does stick welding or flux core. And then TIG welding is full shielding gas on a tungsten, which is the little piece of metal inside the cup, strikes the arc, and because it's fully covered by shielding gas, and you're not just feeding wire into it, that's why the MIG has the sparks. That's why it will remain super stable and not throw sparks. You're basically just heating up your metal to the point where it melts, you get a nice puddle, and then adding metal to it, doing the dab, doing filler metal. So
it takes a lot of talent, girl. It takes a lot of talent to be a great TIG welder. So great job on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've landed at Bomber Fabrication. So tell us about Bomber Fabrication and what you guys do over there.
We build King of Hammers winning race cars in a nutshell. Randy's been doing this for 20 years. This is actually going to be his 20th King of the Hammers coming up. And so he started with these cars in about 2008 or 2009 is when he built his first one. And won his first race in 2013. He's won it 3 times. And so we'll build our own cars, for me and Randy. We'll build customers' cars. We've mostly been doing customers' cars lately. We're building, I won't get into the portal car right now, I guess, but that's what we've been working on this year. We also do trail cars because obviously we don't just like racing. We like wheeling. So we build trail cars and we go rock crawling for fun. And then we also sell all the parts for the cars too. So we've got like motors in stock, all the Spider Tracks parts, axle shafts, transmissions, Atlas transfer cases, all the stuff that you need to put a car together. We try to make it a one-stop shop just because when we're building a car, we need these parts so they're on the shelf. So, yeah.
Oh, so you guys
That's
have a lot of
cool.
stuff in stock as well, ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so here's what Avis and I really want to know. What's it like working with Randy, the King of Kings, and now being married to him? Like, I know
So
that's
she's
what
the
Avis
queen
really
now.
wants to know.
She's the queen.
Well, she's got to work her way up to that. But yeah, I mean, indirectly, yes. But
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm
not there
going
yet.
to say no. I'm going to say no to that, Avis, in the way that it's said in the King.
Well, I
of
was just
Hammers
thinking,
one
if she's
spot.
married to the king,
Yeah.
she must be the queen. But
That's
okay.
fair. I'm a queen in some respects.
There you go.
But yeah, I haven't gotten that title yet, not officially, as far as I'm concerned. It's been really tough, I'm not gonna lie, because he's such a perfectionist, to a different level than I am. Like I said, like you and me, Charlene, we're preppers. We want to do it that way. Randy really enjoys the crunch time. That's what he really enjoys. So that's where we clash, because I want to get all this stuff done beforehand, and he's like, no, let's just wait until the last second. It's going to be awesome. And I'm like, crap.
It's like, you're stressing me out, man. You're stressing me out.
Yeah. My eyes quit twitching, but so we have that dynamic in that respect. And also on the same token that he's a perfectionist, he's taught me a lot. So I came into this job having like really basic car building skills. I had basically built my Samurai, and that's it. I'm not a mechanic by trade, so I didn't learn most of that stuff. And it was a matter of getting comfortable with, hey, I can do this. I can completely take this thing apart, clean it up, service it, and put it back together. It's not that big of a deal. But the encyclopedia is in his head, right? So we'll have a customer call up asking for a transfer case, and they're like, well, will it fit a turbo 400? And I'm like, I don't know. I have to look it up. I have my part numbers. But I don't have that junkyard encyclopedia in my head because Randy's done all that and I haven't gotten a chance to. So that part's been pretty cool to learn too, like what parts you can mix and match and how things work and how things should go together. Um, yeah, it's like I said, he's got the whole thing up in his head, and sometimes I get to pick little bits out and keep it for myself.
Yeah, Randy is very impressive. I've had a lot of opportunity to work with him and talk with him, and I really am always impressed. Like, he's quiet. He's the quiet type.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, holy cow, here comes his brain, right? It is so full of incredible things.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
It's that kind of personality where like you retain certain things, and that's the kind of stuff that sticks with him, and that's why he's so good at it. And it's the putting stuff together part and the racing part, because he'll tell you he likes going fast, right? He always wants to be faster. He wants to build things faster and better and stronger, and so he's really good at the racecraft too. And
yeah.
He likes it, so.
Yeah. And I mean, that's also, let's give some credit where credit's due, right? As you wheel with people that are better than you also out on the race course, the 3-time king, and giving you a car that has that kind of potential, like that's also had some bearings on your skill set. Or where do you feel? How's that? Is it pushing you to be more, what do you see differently?
Yeah, so that part definitely pushed me, because I don't think I mentioned before, but Randy, the car that I race in 48 now, Randy won the EMC overall in 24, which is also year that I raced it in 44. So we know the car is capable, right? So that puts a little bit of pressure on me to, hey, this thing can obviously do it. Can you do it? So I went into Hammers 25 just thinking, hey, I'll just do my best. But I had the 6 weeks ish of seat time in that thing, and it really worked out for me. I'm not saying I'm the best at it. I still have a long ways to go. You know, there's a lot for me to learn, but thankfully, to get better at it, you ride with people that are better than you, right? You can't get better at it if you're riding with people that aren't as good as you or on the same level. You're never going to get any better. You're just going to keep doing the same stuff all the time. Yeah, that's what I learned.
Nice. Never stop learning. Never stop growing.
Yep.
I think we're like goldfish, right? We grow into whatever we have in our environment, right? Like, so you grew into the Samurai, now you're growing into the big car.
Yeah.
Kinda cool.
Exactly. And like eventually I'd like to build a badass trail car. Can I say that? I don't know if I can say that.
You can say that.
You can say that.
Okay, yeah. I want to build a badass trail car and do cool stuff. And like, I want a drag axle first so I can learn drag axle stuff, and then maybe go into a rear steer and do rear steer stuff, because I can get myself in trouble with rear steer. I've done that before.
I know, it's so fun.
It's so fun, but you get in so much trouble. I just feel like you have to start slow and get to learn all of it first. Because when I was racing the Samurai, especially the very last year that I raced it, I learned a really valuable lesson on momentum versus traction and how to make both of them work for you in a car. And that was it. Learning that and the butt feeling that goes with it is a huge game changer when you're trying to rock crawl and be fast in the rocks and maintain momentum up a big, steep, shaly hill, you know? So it's because I started out slow, I got all that experience in the Samurai. Not all of it translated over to the Bomber, but some of it did. Oh.
That's cool.
Nice. So you have been a significant part of the Jessi Combs Foundation, but you have quite a story of how you got involved with it. So why don't you share that with us?
Yeah, so I love this story, and I don't think I've told it on a podcast before. Like I said, when Jessi passed in 2019, that's what spurred me to start racing. So because of that, I think the Jessi Combs Foundation was founded like really early 2020 or 2019 or late 2019. And so I had one of my best friends, Dory, paint the Jessi Combs Foundation logo on the roof of my Samurai. And I still have it on there. It's hand painted. It's gorgeous. And so I'm going through tech and contingency for my first year racing, and Jessi Combs Foundation has a booth out there. and one of the board members is sitting in it, and he comes over and starts talking to me, and I share my story with him. His name was Steve, and he was a friend of Jessi's. You know, the whole JCF board was founded as they were friends of Jessi's that she left a note for that said, hey, this is how I want my message carried on. So I had never really been friends with Jessi. I'd met her a bunch of times, but we'd never really like been friends, like I said. So I get talking to JCF while I'm at King of the Hammers 2020, and eventually got to meet all the board members and have been on a bunch of trips with them. It's been so cool helping the next generation of female trailblazers come up in this world and cut their teeth. And because it's not just a scholarship program, they bring girls to the events like King of the Hammers and SEMA and PRI show and Sturgis even. And they get them exposed to their respective industries. So like if you're a welder, you might go to FabTech Expo, like I did when I was a welder. And so they bring girls out to King of the Hammers every year. I invite them into the pit, give them a little rundown of like what's going on, and all of them sit there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and they're all so excited. And that kind of stuff gets me really excited because I was there. That was me 10, 15 years ago. So watching this next generation come up has been really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for all the effort that you put into that. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. Yeah. Avis, how about we roll into some full throttle questions? Are you ready?
All right. Are you ready? Maybe. Let's do our second full throttle favorite rapid fire questions. Okay. What instantly stresses you out in a race?
Instantly stresses me out in a race. I don't know.
Nothing. She's calm as a cucumber, Charlene.
That's you try really hard to do that, and sometimes things come up, and I have to check whatever it is. Like I had my co-driver at Moab talking really fast, and that was kind of stressing me out. And I was like, "Dude, you have to start talking slow." And he's like, "Okay." But yeah, for the most part, the name of the game is try to just be calm and not let the adrenaline run you, right? So that's my main goal. Try not to be stressed out.
Love it. One word that describes your driving style.
Slow.
Do you have a pre-race ritual that you have to stick to?
Not really. I hydrate really well and try to eat really well in the days before. Yeah, that's
important.
Yeah, it's super important. It's you're an athlete, so you have to treat your body right.
Yeah. If you could design any part with no budget limits, what would it be?
Okay. That's a really tough question, but I just want to build my own car. I want a badass rock crawler that I can build to my own liking and then figure out all the stuff that's wrong with it and then fix it and make it better. So this is a little bit of learning curve that I never got to learn, and I really want to. So
cool. Who are 3 people you would love to race against? Anybody?
I get to race against Randy this year in the Everyman Challenge because we're building him a new 48 car. So it's going to be me and my 48 car and him and his 48 car. And then this other customer that we're building right now is also in a 48 car. So I get to race against him too. But just looking back on it years past, I raced against Anthony Hadsall in the Samurai, and him and I dished it out for a couple miles, and it was super sick in our Samurais. It was really fun racing against Cody Young last year in the 48 class. I'd race against my dad. I'd race against my brother.
Sweet. Building your own race car. So, like, I can imagine when you come across the line and you've won, or you're the first person physically across the line, even though they bumped you to second. Like, that's an amazing feeling. Is doing that in your own race car, like, is that the next level of enlightenment, so to say?
Well, so I can't take credit for that one being my race car because it is Randy's design. I put hands on it. I physically did a lot of the welding and some of the building. But I guess I never thought about it too much because I thinking back to like the first time I've kind of finished in my Samurai, that was a cool feeling because that's something that I built. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
like how one part turned into a whole race car.
one part turned into a whole race car. What do you mean?
The question was any part, and you said a race car.
I know,
Oh,
I love it though. I love it.
It's all bolted together. It's one being.
yeah, but it's like I think about all these really cool parts that have come out in the last couple of years, like the live valve shocks and Sprags and the new Mason Motorsports rear ends and like all the cool stuff that your dad does, Charlene. Like
Yeah.
he'll talk my ear off about all the stuff he's designing, and I haven't gotten far enough into it to know what the market needs. You know, what would be the next cool thing for a race car? I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna change this question up just a half a second. So what do you think a race car needs for a lady to race better?
A taller seat.
A taller seat. Okay, see, like there you go, right? Something
Yeah.
that is simple yet dramatic.
Make us a seat.
Well, so it's not just a seat, but like the seat sliders and a way to raise and lower them. It'd be way easier in any other car, I think. In bombers, it's really hard because everything's so packed in there, and everything has its place and its position. So for mine, I had to make separate tabs for the inside of the seat mounts and a bracket for the outside to bring the whole thing up and forward, so I could reach the pedals and see out of it.
I love it. So also the other question or the other word that I thought was fun is your word slow. Really? I mean, does that come from Samurai Land? Like, I mean, slow is fast, slow is precise, like slow is okay, right?
Smooth is fast. I'm not,
Yeah.
and I'm not super smooth. I'm not super fast. I try to do the best I can. And part of that is just going slow and figuring out inch by inch how much faster you can get. You know, this is something that Emily taught us for Rebel Rally training is you have to be, what is it, the cars or whatever?
Car. Comfortable, accurate, and relaxed.
Yeah. Comfortable, accurate, and relaxed. And after you've got those three achieved, you can start going a little bit faster. So I'm slow.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. You know what else I love? I love hearing the shop in action behind you.
We're on crunch time right now. So.
I know. I love it. I love it. So what's your proudest hell yeah moment? Like that moment where you were just like, oh, hell yeah, we did this.
So I was thinking about this one earlier, and it's kind of a tough one because obviously taking physical first this year was a hell yeah moment. Like that was actually, you know what? Here we go. It was when they told me I was running 6th during that race. We were coming into the rock trails, and I had no idea where we sat because I started 30th. And the pit crew came over the radio and said, we're running 6th. And I'm like, holy crap, we're doing the thing. And so we just, you know, I start counting cars in front of us and picking them off. And I'm like, holy crap, now we're running first. What are we doing? So that was the moment for me. And I think Tom, my co-driver, was kind of in it too. We both really freaked out because I think when the pit crew came over and told us we were in 6th, I turned to Tom and said, did they mean 16th? And he said, no, 6th. So from there on out, we were both just, our minds were blown. And that was the coolest part of the experience, the coolest little chunk moment. So
How much was left after you had that information? Like how far into the race were you?
Oh, we had done 2 of the rock trails, I think. It was like before we had hit most of the rock trails. So we had just finished lap 1. We had come through main pit. We were headed out to the rocks, and that's when they told us. So I was like, holy crap, we've got all of the rock trails to catch everyone. And I was like, well, I'm a pretty good rock crawler. Maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try my best here. And I did not have a clean day either. I think me and Tom got stuck like 3 times. We blew a tire going into Jackhammer, had to change that. It was not a clean day, but made physical first happen at least, and missed a bunch of RCPs and took official second. So.
Nice.
That's super
Nice.
cool.
So when you look back on your career, your time, all these things, like at the opposite end of the spectrum, what was like a low of the lows when you realized, woo, that was rough, but you learned a big lesson from it, and we can always look back on it, right? So what was that low of the low that you learned from?
I think it was actually after my very first year racing. Like, I had a really low moment when they told me I had to come in, and all I wanted to do was go rock crawling. I was so upset because my whole goal was just to finish in my Samurai, and I was hell bent on it, dude. I was like, I will do these rock trails. I'll come in at midnight or 1 in the morning after doing all the rock trails, but at least I'll have finished the course. And so I cried the whole way back into Hammertown, and I was so upset. But I come off of that, and, nothing broke. I lost a diff, and it took my pit crew 15 minutes to change it.
Wow.
The car was still driving after the race, which was cool. I had a lot of good stuff going for me that it ultimately trumped that low moment. So it was hard to push through in the moment, but looking back on it, you laugh about it. And that's kind of the point, right?
Hopefully.
And then there's also a story about you prepping and living in your enclosed trailer low moments. Tell us about that one.
Oh, yeah. So I love that you brought this up. I was for Hammers in 22, and I lived in a 26-foot enclosed trailer that I had bought from Randy. So it was 26-foot trailer, and it had 11 feet of living quarters in the front. And, the kitchen and the bathroom and all that stuff. And that was the coldest and snowiest winter that we've ever had in this town in 30 years. And that was the coldest, snowiest winter of my entire life. And I lived in an enclosed trailer with, I actually lived right around the corner on what is Dan Wyrick's property. He's another racer, but it was just bare land at the time. There was no running water, no electricity. I had solar power on my roof. I had lithium batteries that would freeze sometimes at night. I slept in the shop a couple nights because my trailer was frozen. If I wanted a shower, I had to drive 15 minutes one way into town to go to the community center. But that year, I'm trying to think, that might have been my second year on Toyota axles. So there wasn't a ton to do to the car. I think I traded out the shocks was the big change from the year before. But it was just such a trip. Like, when I packed for Hammers, I packed everything I owned into that trailer, and I had everything that I cared about with me. So it was pretty cool. There was a point where the roof on the trailer leaked. And I just completely broke down. I just lost it. I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to deal with this? I don't know how to patch a roof. My trailer's ruined, And I'm laughing about it now because I sat there for a moment, gathered myself, got back out the next day, and patched the freaking roof. Like, I'd never done it before, but I figured it out and it held. So it worked out.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes those lows become our highs later, don't they? Like, hey, we figured it out.
Yeah.
Made it happen.
Coming back from it.
Yeah.
So if somebody's listening right now, they're wanting to get into the industry, like they're super intrigued with your story and how you became a fabricator and now racing and podiuming and all those kinds of things. Like, what are some of your pro tips? How would you say, here's a great idea?
Here's a great idea. Just do it. That's half of it. And the other half, I learned a lot actually from Rebel Rally, was manage your expectations. So like that really low moment I was talking about after my first Hammers, that wasn't managing expectations realistically. And so you don't want to set yourself up for failure by thinking, oh, I'm going to friggin' win the race my first year. Work your way up to it, and don't be mad at yourself for not doing fantastically. You have to take baby steps. You have to crawl before you can walk. And the same goes for welding and fabricating too. Friggin' everyone's gonna suck at it when they first start out. I still think I suck at it sometimes. And yeah, you just don't be too hard on yourself and look at the stuff that you do right. Keep doing that. Try to be the best that you can.
I love it. I love it. What's your next goal?
That's
What's on your
amazing.
list?
Next goal is win the Everman Challenge. And that's all I got going for me right now, I think.
That's it.
I'm
goal.
uber focused.
Try not to think too far past hammers. That's always my thing this time of year. Because like after hammers is like New Year's. Everything just goes away and I can live life again.
So something else that you said that was pretty fun in one of our conversations is like financial security is versus the life you live, right? And I look at that, and so many people think that the off-road industry is like this amazing place to work and, you know, all these great things. And I'm like, oh man, it is. Let me talk to you about the benefits. But one of them is not cash flow. So you want to expand on that?
Oh gosh, yeah. Like I said earlier, I went to work for a couple shops in between Bomber Fab and the first shop I worked at that was in the off-road industry, and having financial security and a retirement plan and health insurance is all really cool and really cushy. But you can, you know, you don't need those things. What you need to do is go live your life, right? And if you have to be in the off-road industry and not get those benefits, even for a little while, like go out and get the experiences and check it out. And if you love it, deep dive and then figure the rest out later. Well,
just start.
Yeah. I've lived by that motto, and we're still here doing good.
See,
yeah
you're
See,
kicking butt, Charlene.
It works. All right. Well, Avis, how about we roll into our full throttle questions?
All right, let's do our final full throttle favorite rapid fire questions. Are you ready? Oh, we're gonna have to add that sound effect. What race is still on your bucket list?
Oh gosh, bucket list race. Maybe the Baja 1000? The Nora 1000 for sure. I definitely want to at least try that one as a baby step to the other 1000. Yeah, let's go with that.
Excellent. What co-driver trait do you value the most?
What cool value trait?
Co-driver?
Oh, co-driver trait. Do I value the most? Definitely being able to change a tire and lift heavy stuff, because I can't lift heavy stuff. I value that a lot.
Nice. What is your secret superpower on the track?
I think just staying calm. I'm pretty good at that. I've had a couple moments where the guy on my passenger seat is kind of freaked out and I've had to like reel everything in and get it all back on ground level. And I can't do that in real life. If I'm not driving, I'm completely unable to do that. But if I've got the steering wheel between my hands, I'm like, all right, we got to get back here, focus, find a goal. So.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
So my mom told me when I was a kid, probably like middle school age, she said, don't wait for someone else to go with you to go do something that you want to do. So, you know, you can't wait for friends sometimes. You can't wait for your significant other sometimes. You just got to go do it. So, yeah.
If your racing career had a theme song, what would it be?
Okay, there's two of them, and you're going to laugh. The first one is Believer by The Bravery, another alt-rock one. And the second one is Loser by Beck. Yeah.
We are laughing. And then what skill is next for you to master?
I bought myself a SolidWorks license this year, and I've got a slew of projects that I want to get done for the shop. So I got some lessons from a really good friend back in September, and I plan to put those to full use after I get back from Hammers.
And can you put that into English for people that don't know what SolidWorks is?
It's a computer-aided design, a CAD program. So instead of building parts by hand, which is mostly what we do, I want to be able to go in, have the chassis in the computer, build shock mounts, build link mounts, be able to send that stuff out to laser cut so that they can be mass produced. We get like 10 at a time. Make, help make the product line more user friendly.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah, that's
exciting.
really a big deal. Like, that's a really big deal. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's a matter of we're always kind of tweaking every single car we build. We tweak it a little bit. I want to be able to get to the point where I can tweak as fast as these guys can, so that we built this car this way. We have a record of it, and that didn't work or that did work. Hey, let's do it different this way.
So I want to go back to the lift heavy stuff thing answer, because honestly, like, as women, that's one of our things, right? Like, guys have all this upper body strength. We have our strength in our legs, if we can use it, depending on what the situation is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a totally big deal, especially when this year at Hammers, we blew that tire going into Jackhammer, which was the section that was guaranteed to get traffic in it. And so nobody had fed us or given us water at Main Pit. That got overlooked. So we were completely hungry and dehydrated. I almost passed out trying to change that darn tire. But my co-driver, Tom, he's a firefighter. So he just started throwing stuff around and getting stuff done. And I was so thankful for it. That was something I couldn't do by myself. And then later on the race, we got so stuck, and my ram was like inches away from hitting a rock. So I couldn't winch forward. I couldn't winch out of it. So he had to get out there with our high lift jack that was not cooperating. And he jacked up all four corners of the car individually to try to get me unstuck. And he was just beating on this thing and trying to get the car to move. And we eventually got out. And that's not something I can do by myself either. So.
Okay, so that's something I find myself, like, I go out into the shop and I like start working on something, and not that it's too tight, and I'm like, and you want to use the strength on it, and then you just want to use a hammer on it because you're so angry at it and all the rest of the things, right? And you're like, no, I can't hit it, I can't hurt it. And then you go get a guy, and they come out there and they're just like just smacking on things and like dropping metal and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I almost can't even watch this, but I should have just done that, right? Like,
we just want to be so careful with stuff, and then these guys come in like wrecking balls and get it done, and we're like, oh,
right?
Yeah.
That was actually a really valuable lesson I've learned over the years, is how to use my body weight and leverage and stuff like that. I think it's a good piece of advice for anyone that wants to weld or fabricate too.
We're getting towards the end here, and I have 3 questions that we've been consistently asking because I love the pro tips that we're getting out of this. So here's the first one. How do you do your to-do list? Like, how do you do your to-do list? How do you do your list of things? How do you prioritize?
Oh, dude, I will, if I think of something, I will write it down. I have so many notepads and so many pieces of paper sitting around this office. And if it's something like on a car, I will write it on like the concrete or a piece of metal that's laying on the ground, so that it's in a permanent place, so that I can pick it up, carry it with me, and put it in the list where it belongs. And I am big on lists. I have lists for everything. I have to-do lists for hammers. I have ordering lists based on what distributor it's coming from. I've got, if I need something from the internet, I will make a cart and then order it when I have free shipping. I try to wake up in the morning and think about what I'm going to do the next day, the night before. So it's already in my head that morning, so that I can come into the shop and just full throttle nail it. So, like I said, I'm really big on lists, and that's kind of how I organize things, is just lists and lists and lists and whiteboards and Sharpies and highlighters.
Nice.
So.
I love it. So do you have a routine for the day? Is there something like, hey, I wake up and I do this and I do that, or in the afternoon or whatever? What kind of routine?
I mean, I get up first thing in the morning and I get ready for the day and have my cup of coffee, come to the shop. First thing in the morning, I always sit down and answer emails. I'll check the emails, answer whatever I need to. And that'll kind of also lay out how the day is going to go. If I'm working on a certain project, I'll know that I have to come back to the office and check the emails again and make sure I've got I don't have an update that I need to respond to. And then like we're really consistent about leaving the shop for lunch because we live here too. You know, our house is 200 yards away from the shop. So getting off the property once a day is a big deal because if Randy wasn't here and I was eating in the shop by myself every day, I would never leave the property. And then it'll get to about the third day and I'll realize I'm going crazy, and that's why. So I'm really consistent on that. And another routine item is just getting out in the hills and getting out in the, like, as far, not daily routine, but try to make it weekly, that we go out in the hills and we get some outdoor time and either go to the river, or we have hot springs nearby, we'll go there, get out side by side, get out in the Toyota truck, something. Just
Nice.
That'll keep us grounded and keep the juices flowing and not just make us go crazy. So,
Remember why we do this?
yeah. yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do you shut your brain off at night?
I just do. I guess I know some people have a hard time doing this, but if I need to sleep, that's what I focus on, and I sleep. So
Awesome.
Same, girl, same. Amber, we want to thank you for your time. We want to remind all of our subscribers to hit the subscribe button, the likes, the notification bell, all that good stuff. Stay with us till the end. You can enter to win. But for now, Amber, do you have any last words to leave us with?
I will let you know how to get a hold of me.
Yes.
So we have a website, Bomber Fabrication, or bomberfab.com. You can check out anything we have for sale on the website. Also, my Instagram is @Daburs, DABURRS. If you must know, that's just a silly name my sister came up with years ago. So kind of sounds like Amber. Daburs. On Facebook, I'm Two Stone Racing. You can go follow me there. And that's about it. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you give yourself some partner pops here? Who are your partners that have helped you out through your racing career?
Oh, big partners. Mostly Bomber Fabrication and Randy. Big shout out to my husband, right? That's always the first one you have to appreciate, is your significant other for all the stuff they do for you. And Randy's gone over the moon to help you out. So BF Goodrich Tires, that's a big one. They believed in me from the get-go, and it's that kind of energy that you always want with a sponsor, right? It's that hell yeah energy. And I've always gotten that from BFG, and Trail Ready is a big one. King Shocks is a huge one. They help us out every year. They're awesome. They're like family to us. Freight Factory is the other hell yeah energy one. And they provide our tent every year at Hammers, and they're a great team to race with. They've got 2 bombers of their own, so they're customers and they're friends, and those are the big ones.
Amazing. How do people cheer you on at KOH? My favorite way is to just come out to the lake bed and do it. You'll probably find my mom sitting in front of the Jumbotron. Go say hi to her and be like, hey, where's Amber at? Because I'll always hear about it. Come say hi to me in the Tech and Contingency line. That'll be on Thursday before the big race, before EMC Day. If you're watching from home, if you comment on the live feed video, the King of the Hammers live feed video, and you say, hey, I want to see Amber, that gets through a lot. That makes a big difference. Just cool.
Friggin' find me on the trail and give me a high five.
I love it. Well, thanks again for sharing. Thank you for your time, and we really appreciate your stories.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for putting this on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Amber. Great job. Loved all the stories. And you can grab a lot more of Ladies' perspectives at She Conquers Dirt's a Bauer Power Hour series. And we'll see you guys all next time.
Get an entry into our week of giving by watching. 1 entry per episode, must complete the form and click submit. Check out this next episode. It's pretty exciting too.